Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, and thanks for tuning in to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm Rich Walsh, and there's a number right there, 412-575-2600 to give me a call tonight and I'm taking your phone calls right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. And we're talking about anything you want tonight, but mainly the big topics are Paul Skeens and the Buccos, who take 3 out of 4 against the Cubs here. Another dominant, really solid pitching performance. Mitch Keller went 6 innings today, only 3 strikeouts, but 2 hits, and only gave up 2 runs. So it's a solid performance as long as the Pirates can score more than 2, right? And they get 3 today. Jack Sawinski with a little help. Nick Gonzalez, his bat's heating up a little bit too. And the Pirates are looking to maybe make a little run here to get back to 500 or so. You got the Giants coming into town, 6 games at home. Maybe you could take 4, and you're starting to get back into that conversation. Right now, you're 6 games back of Milwaukee for the division. Also, 4 games back of Chicago because you gained a little bit ground on the Cubs by taking 3 out of 4. So it's definitely been the starting pitching for the Pirates, not so much the bats, but they got enough runs. Yesterday, it seemed like a wasted pitching performance. I mean, you have a guy that's maybe pitched the best out of the – okay, Paul Skeens pitched the best. But a guy that goes longer than anyone in the game, 7 2/3, I think he pitched, and, comes away with nothing. And the Pirates lose in walk-off fashion. David Bednar kind of up and down. He's been up yesterday, a little snafu, but today he goes up and shuts things down in the 9th inning. Still makes things kind of scary out there, but, closers, we talked about that on this show. Closers, it's a roller coaster ride sometimes with these guys, but David Bednar has been solid. When he's in command with his pitches, pitching where we're throwing and pitching where he needs those balls to go, David Bednar's solid and tough to beat out there. But he's had a rough start so far, and there's no question about it. But today, the Pirates get to win. And moving on, day off tomorrow. The Bucks are at it. You're going to see this week coming up. Martin Perez goes on Tuesday. You're going to see Jared Jones more than likely Wednesday. Paul Skeens on Thursday, followed up by Falter and Mitch Keller again. So that's your lineup this week. Another chance to see Paul Skeens on the mound. And, Jared Jones is another guy, television. Make an appointment to see both of those guys. Appointment viewing, I think that's what Pat McAfee called. But this is a big deal, especially Paul Skeens. You got, the MLB network and, taking live look into games. This guy's a phenom, and this is something that we talked about on the Showdown coming up tonight on KDKA-TV. So tune in at 11:35 after the 11 o'clock news on KDKA-TV, and we're talking Paul Skeens. So, one of the questions I threw out to them, and I'm going to throw out to you right now, is this guy a phenom? Can we call him a phenom after 2 games? We've seen a ton of phenoms here in Pittsburgh. We can name Sidney Crosby. That's probably the latest. Mario Lemieux, 2 that I can think of right now, and there's been a bunch. But those are the 2 guys that you really think about when you're talking phenoms. I mean, maybe Garrett Cole you can kind of put in this category too. Picked 1-1. But these are guys that you knew were going to be good and were good right off the bat. Is Paul Skeens in that category after 2 games? I think so. The guy pitched a no-hitter through 6 innings, second start ever. He's thrown 100-plus and just dominating batters, major league hitters. And I think he's going to do that a lot. I'd love to see him against the Yankees. I'm going to love to see him against the Dodgers if he pitches against those teams and see what he can do against teams like that. Lineups like that. But, I think where he potentially can get into trouble is when guys are fouling balls off and he has to throw more pitches than he needs to in innings. I mean, he's trying to get guys out of the least amount of pitches as possible. But, he had 100 pitches through 6 innings, and you got to take them out. All right, we're going to take your phone calls after the break. 412-575-2600. We got a jam-packed phone line. Back in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. This is our GMC tweet of the night, and you can raise it. Fun series. This is the Skeen Muse Twitter site. Should have been a sweep. Should have been, yeah. We can think of a lot of reasons for it being a sweep. It's you got to get those bats going. Bailey Falter, you feel kind of bad for him. 7 2/3, 2 hits, no runs, and they lose the game in the 9th inning. David Bednar gives up the game-winning hit. So unfortunately, they only get 3 out of 4 instead of 4 out of 4, and it kind of goes back to that Milwaukee series too. They should have won that series, and they didn't. It's the bats, it's the offense. Let's go out to the phone lines. Always love hearing from Jerry in Hempfield. Jerry, what's going on?
Hey, Rich, I got a crazy question for you. When they got rid of Cole, he was their top pitcher. They didn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
Now they got this Skeens guy here. He's phenomenal the first 2 games. It's only 2 games now. But say he goes through the half of the year and he's excellent like this. I believe there's going to be some teams calling on the Pirates, who's contending for the World Series maybe, to get him and offer the Pirates some kind of crazy deal. And the Pirates, as crazy as they are, they'll probably take like 6.
No, hey, Jerry, what kind of crazy deal? I mean, I don't think that is going to happen. I mean, they need a guy like this to put butts into the seats, right? I mean, he's a guy that you're going to have for at least 6 years. And, the old Pirates organization, they would trade a guy like this, 2 years, a year and a half out. But they're going to try to do whatever they can to sign him long term. Look, I proposed this to the guys on the showdown tonight. I don't even want to give it away, but I said, hey, try to lock this guy up now. Buy out those arbitration years, offer him some major long-term deal. You're running the risk of him getting Tommy John surgery. I don't want to say it's inevitable with a guy that's throwing as hard as he does, but if there's a chance that he can miss a year and 18 months throwing that hard. But this is a game changer. Jared Jones is another guy that could be a game changer, and you follow them up with a Mitch Keller. Bailey Falter's been great too. I mean, this pitching staff, the starting pitching staff, has been solid. When you thought that potentially was going to be the weak link of this team, and now it's the strength, you got to get the hitters going. You got to get major league hitting. You got to go out and get bats. Now, I don't know if you can get anything at the trade deadline that's going to help this team, but you're in the conversation. You're getting people excited again. People are optimistic about this team because of those guys. You got to do it for the fans. You got to go out and try to get guys that can hit balls. You can't keep trotting Rowdy Tellez out there who's striking out. It doesn't even look like he's a major. Doesn't even look like he cares. I know some people might disagree with me, but I mean, his swing is off. Why is he even playing? Just DFA the guy, get him out of here, make him go to the minors, prove a point, call up Lamb, do something. He should not be on this team anymore. I think a lot of Pirates fans would be happy that you would do that. You wasted $3 million on this guy. He's not coming around. See ya. All right, let's go out to Ed out in Carrick. How you doing, Ed?
Good.
Good. Thanks for calling.
How you doing, Rich?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Hey, in that game Saturday, the Pirates and the Cubs, the Pirates got ripped off in the 10th inning because when that runner was running down, he tagged him out and he showed the umpire the ball, and he knocked it out of his glove. He was out, and how come they overruled it and they said they called him safe?
Yeah, I mean, those are good questions. The Pirates lost the game, though. I mean, plain and simple, David Bednar. We can talk about and go back and rehash the game. They lost the game. Wasted pitching performance by Bailey Falter. Unbelievable. You need to get some hits in 9 innings, right? You need to score runs. I mean, you can't get blanked. You look at the last, go back to what, April, I don't know, what are we, April 15th or something like that, where this team, they just can't score runs. They gotta figure out how to get runs. Maybe get a consistent lineup out there. You need major league hitters. You got to keep Nick Gonzalez in the lineup all the time. Maybe call up G1 Bay, call up Lamb. See what you got. See if something else works. Back out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to Will out in McKees Rocks. How you doing, Will?
Hey, Richie. How are you tonight?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Thank you for taking my call as always. I really appreciate it. Hey, Richie, I have a question about the pitch count. My question is, do teams factor in warm-up pitches into the pitch count?
I mean, I'm sure that's all factored in. I don't know that for sure. I mean, and they're not out there throwing 103 miles per hour. Those are just warm-up pitches. When you're factoring pitch count, they're only talking about the pitches that they throw in the game. All that stuff is warm-ups. But I'm sure they factor in how much. I know they factor in how much they warm up, how many throws you have in order to get your body or your arm warmed up to where you like it. That's all taken into consideration. But, you know, I wondered if it was a close game. Do you keep him out there for one more inning and you kind of stretch it and see what happens? I would probably say no. What if he had a perfect game going on? What do you do? But he had 100 pitches, a lot of foul balls. That situations like that. So it's tough. I mean, in the olden days, I guess they would throw him out there and maybe he would have pitched a no-hitter. You're not going to. It's unfortunate you're not going to see too many no-hitters or perfect games anymore because unless they're, you know, 3 up, 3 down kind of thing, and guys are staying around the, you know, getting into that 9th inning around 80, 90 pitches. But, you know, Paul Skeens did have 100 pitches, so they made the right decision. You can't blow out his arm in his second start because he throws 140 pitches. All right, let's go out to Mike in Newcastle. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Richie, I'm just calling to check on your health because the big three of Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, and Mitch Keller looks like they're giving you bucko fever. I think they can stay in it to the end and potentially get one of these wild card spots because it looks like it's wide open. And if we get any kind of hitting, I don't see there's why we can't contend for the division.
Hey, Mike, I don't know about a wild card. I think their best route to a postseason might be the division.
Well, they're only a couple games out of the wild card, and they're like 6 or 7 out of the division.
But there's so many teams. That's my issue. There's so many teams that are a couple games out. I don't know. I mean, look, I got bucko fever too. I'm glad you do, Mike. But I'm pretty excited about it. But you got to hit. And you know, another thing that we talked about tonight, and I'm trying to get you guys to watch the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown here tonight. You know, we had Ray Fittipaldo on. And obviously, Ray covers the Steelers. I cover the Steelers. We had Jeff Hathorn. He covers the Steelers. And you know how frustrated the Steelers' defense was because the offense couldn't score any points, right? Well, you're getting to that point where, you know, if a guy's pitching great and he can't get any run support, of course, it's just going to be frustration. It's going to boil over at some point. You're going to hit that point at some point. I don't know. I'm not going to say it's in the next couple weeks, but, hey, you know, if they can't win games because they're only scoring 0 runs or 1 run or 2 runs, you need to score 3, 4, 5 runs to win some games. I know you're not going to score 5 runs every game, but yesterday you need to try to figure. I know you're going against one of the best pitchers for the Cubs, but you got to try to figure out ways to get hits and to get runs. They've had too many games. That's the problem with the Pirates. They've had too many games with no runs, under 3 runs. That's been a major problem for this team right now. Let's go out to Todd in Mars. How you doing, Todd?
Hey, Richie, you're killing it tonight, man. You're hitting all of the points. And part of me says, you know, until ownership changes, which we know that's not going to happen, the Pirates are going to be the Pirates. We need hitting. Rowdy Tellez, garbage. When Connor Joe, no offense, but when he is leading the team in average, I mean, it's kind of funny, right? Because he probably wouldn't.
He was a former #1 pick, right? I mean, look, we didn't mean to cut you off there, but yeah, 100%. You're right. Connor Joe isn't. You're expecting that from O'Neal Cruz, guys like that, guys that are stars. Connor Joe's not a star. He would be a utility player on most Major League Baseball teams. Here, he should be in the lineup more. I mean, I think we're starting to see that more now, but he should be an everyday player. Not Rowdy Tellez. Rowdy Tellez should be gone. I think fans like you would be excited if the Pirates made a move like that. And look, I know it's a Pirates issue. It's an ownership issue with the Pirates, but it also is a Major League Baseball problem. There needs to be a salary floor. There has to be to force teams like the Pirates to spend money to bring in guys that can hit, and you got to pay them. You can't just keep bringing in these one-year guys and paying them $3 million, hoping that you're going to catch lightning in a bottle, and then you're going to trade them at the trade deadline, or keep them if they're going to help you get to. It's just not the way it works. You have to give these pitchers. You got to surround them with hitters so you can win. So then we might see 2013. That's what everyone wants to see. 2013, 14, 15 Pirates. That was so exciting. You know, this is a baseball town, and I would argue that. I think the Pirates are no question the #2 popular team. I know I'm going on a tangent here in the city. There's no doubt about it. You saw that excitement that time. People want that. People are craving for that. Just give it to them. Spend some money, bring some hitters in, maybe make some kind of deals to get a guy give up some of these prospects or something to try to make some kind of trade to, and make a run this year if you think you have a shot at the wild card. And you'd have a shot at the division right now. You're only 6 games back. You're going to play the Brewers again. You're going to play the Cubs again. You're going to be in the mix, especially with these 3 guys. All right, we got to take a break. Back with more of your phone calls coming up next. Stay right there.